Hello, welcome to today's collective general reading. As always, remember to use your own discernment, join with intention, and allow the message to be received with an open heart. A quantum reminder, we are speaking through symbol and story here, so please do not rely on tarot readings for factual evidence. You are always encouraged to do your own research, especially when engaging with strangers on the internet. Eco. So, these here are cards that came out as I was putting away the previous reading. So they've been sitting here for a couple days on my desk. The moon never left, but these two flipped out from the Sacred Geometry deck. 46, the lesson, and 20, Traveler's Prayer. Now, what I immediately took from these is we have this like purple indigo and we have this orange, and they're reflected in mirroring frames, right? So what I took that as was, if you haven't watched the previous reading, go for that. But let me just see if I can do this here. Okay. Did that pause anything for you? We'll see. Anyway, what I took that as was sacral chakra, third eye chakra. So there being this creative foresight, this impassioned vision, this something that stirs creativity in you, yes, but you already see it. It's either something that has been reawakened recently or it's been a longer craving, I'll say. I looked across the room and I saw two things, that one's orange, one's purple. I've recently put a purple blanket out, and then in my left eye, I'm seeing bright pink. So also, oh yeah, I placed this here. So green, so heart chakra coming through, but you're really opening with that pink from the left. You're opening up in receiving this divine essence of energy that is coming from spirit, from source, and you are trusting that you have what it takes to process and transmute that into whatever it is that you want to be creating into the world. Also, what had come out was the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Cups. So for me, that was very clearly, okay, what it is that you're starting is you walking away from a path that is no longer for you. You are choosing to follow your intuition. Here in this moon card, is that a little dent on it? Well, I guess that's how it goes. There has been a cat walking around this desk a little bit. So it's actually interesting. I was going to point to this path here, but exactly on that path, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a little slice taken out of this card now. And I turn it over. I don't know if you can see, if I can reflect it maybe, but right here, there's a bump. And this is a little warped now. Something has pushed through to the other side. So with the previous reading, perhaps this is you having walked through the door and you're still, again, we're in this symbiosis process of passageway through portal, right? So as you are walking through, you may still notice that you are within. So perhaps you've made the choice to be moving ahead. And then there's parts of you that say, wait, what's going on? I should be on the other side. You are technically on the other side. You're also here. Okay, you are also right where you started at the same time. And so with this being another deck and the same moon card appearing and this being the journey, you have transformed. So you are now the new, this is so cool. You are now the new you. You are in your new world, and there's going to be familiar mirrorings around you. So there may be points where, I'll just use this example of you were at the moon and then you made a big transition and you look around and you're like, wait, I'm still at the moon? I thought I would have but you have transitioned. You have transformed. People talk about timeline. hopping and quantum jumping and etc., etc. You know, ties in with mandala effect, potentially, depending on your perspective. And I'm not here to put words in your mouth, right? But all I'm saying is there's some meaning to being in new places. Fire keepers. Ooh, love this. Okay. So 5 being the number for change, yes. And seeing, again, it's this triangle with a circle in the middle. But you are the one, through this transitional state that you are now in, you are the one that is actually creating this fire of change. And with this being fire keepers, it's not about a fire burning itself out. It's about sustaining that. It's about keeping that, being in ceremony with fire. Creating magic, but not just magic for yourself, magic for your community, magic for your loved ones, magic for the people that you work with. And I'm seeing this outgoing spiral as that is the power that you have that is going into the world. But it's not spiraling outward exponentially, etc. It's very focused. You know what you are doing. Very interesting. Okay, so if these first 6, again, 6, if these first 6 minutes have resonated with you, let's see what message you have today. Okay. Oh. I had this little guy fall down. What? Let me just, yeah, there we go. Okay. So this had fallen down. It's weird. I might need to make a few edits on this video. There's just a few little, oh, didn't mean for that. Oh, wait. There's some adjustments that you are making in real time. Okay. This beautiful deck, which I always make the comment of is scented. It is a rose scented deck. 8 of discs, the Lord of Prudence on bottom. So 8 of pentacles, but also having had that 8 of cups. So I am seeing 8 as abundance, which I was seeing as what is coming into you. Oh, right. And there's a channeled message. Very small. But as I was sitting down, the phrase that came to mind was money, honey. And you can see honey as person if, you know, that's how that works out with you. But I'm seeing it more as I'm feeling the need to make room. There's more coming in, more than you've had before. And so with it being money, honey, there is this ooze, this liquid gold, this transmorpheous, beautiful, shape-shifting energy that will thickly coat you. It's not something that's going to slither on by. This is something that is not sticking as in tacky, but that delicious ooze of honey. If you don't worry about the mess that honey will bring and you just enjoy its shape, don't worry about cleaning it up after. Don't worry about it being messy or sticky, or you don't know where you're going to, like, you're looking for a sink, you're looking for a shower before you're even enjoying the sensation. The message is this is for you to be enjoying. Okay. And then what also came through was use the backdoor pocket safekeeping. And I didn't exactly know what that meant. And so I tuned in a little more and it came as transported youngest safety protection. So as you're going through this transition, don't worry about having all of your cards on the table, so to speak, but don't worry about putting everything on display. about having everything prepared. Let's all, be generic and say that you're working on a project and it has 6 moving pieces and you feel like you're juggling them. Maybe 2 out of those 6 are ready, but everything else has not yet matured to that same stage. Tuck that in the back of a book. You don't need to keep carrying around what has already evolved and is waiting to be put into action. Again, it's not about rushing through something. If we're rushing something, we are missing the experience of presence. And presence is the portal. So, this transported youngest safety protection is, and if you are someone that experienced crisis or trauma or abuse or hardships when you were a child, please know I am not encouraging you to go back into hard times. If you are currently in crisis, if the idea of this feels triggering or re-traumatizing for you, don't do it. I'm only encouraging you to go where you feel drawn, in balance. Okay. But the idea, there was a smell that had come through just before I started. And it's from a place where I have some of my earliest memories with people that I love, that I know loved me, and I felt so safe there. So this tucking it away, safekeeping, there's this message of spirit that what it is that you are doing in protecting what you have is being done onto you from your ancestors, your spirit guides, your loved ones, your soul family or spirit family. There's this magical current that runs through you, and they are the electrode magnet is the phrase coming to mind. I'm not sure if I'm using all these words in a way that makes sense with the story, but I will continue. Getting the image of tree, but specifically the kanji for tree. And then I see that with the number 3 beneath it. So when you have the kanji for tree lined up like 3 times into one kanji, it forms mori, which is forest. And I'm seeing 2 fish. So this idea of the symbioticness, also it being Pisces and having just finished out Pisces season. Now in this new, this new birth in Aries, seeing fire. So there's this worry that you may have of, well, what if I burn down the forest that I've been operating within? What if my power is destructive? Or what if I'm throwing away what I'm supposed to hold on to? I'm being reminded of when you're living somewhere impacted by forest fires, you get into the habit of packing an emergency bag for evacuation. I know that's not a fun thought, and it puts it in perspective when you look around your environment and you have, here we go, you have to pick and choose what it is that you will need to be taking with you. Okay. And so you may feel scared at that. You may feel nervous at that. That's natural. That's a very natural human response to, I've been working my whole life to get to this place, but now where it is that I want to go, where I feel called to go, is requiring me to leave the forest I'm in. And I'm scared of walking that path with destruction and causing harm along the way. And so the message from Spirit, I'm seeing like here in the back of these cards with the triangles, I'm seeing as above, so below. If you're doing this from a mindset of destruction, or that you feel that rebirth has to come with chaos, look inward and see if you are causing additional chaos other than what is a natural part of the process. Like, are you pouring gasoline on the fire? As I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. I'm seeing a full cycle end and come back to 1, 2, 3, which reminded me when we had the first cards, it was 26. No, it was 46 and 20. And so 4 and 6 is 1 and then 2. So I said, okay, 1, 2. It's not a running start. It's not a 1, 2, 3, but it's a setting pace. It's building in that rhythm. Okay. Which is a portal, which is a door. This is a door. 2 of Cups, the Lord of Love. These cards are so pretty. So I am seeing the red here. And in this instance, referring to the fire within. But it's, if you look at this, the fire isn't consuming everything. The fire has more than enough, plentiful, oozing, going back to this money honey, this fluid ooze, plenty of protection, of soothing, of calm, of regulation, nervous system, to know that it's not going to lash out. It's not going to erupt. It is not lava. It is an inner fire. So as you're walking through this doorway, this portal, having perhaps already walked through it, you're not walking through in anger. Anger is something that you are, how do I say it? Because anger is so important. I wanted to say anger is something that you are leaving behind, but I don't mean that you will never experience anger again or that you should not experience anger, but be mindful of feeling anger, having anger as an emotion, and allowing anger to be the fuel in how you treat other people. There's that difference. You can use anger to transmute your energy for creativity, for, if you know what I would do sometimes, like when I was working in restaurants and some customer pissed me off, dude, or there was someone on shift that was just slacking and I knew that they were going to be with me on the closing shift, and man, I knew I was going to be an extra hour going to have to do all this extra work because this person's not going to do it. And there's nothing I can do. I can't make someone work harder when they don't want to. So you know what? I said, I'm going to get my cleaning supplies now an hour and a half early. I'm going to go and do all of this hard manual labor downstairs in the basement. Or I'm going to get all of that prep out of the way. I'm going to do something that is labor intensive. So then I can be grunting through this elbow grease work, and then I'm able to get that, I'm able to exert that anger out of my body while it's serving a positive purpose. We still get to finish shift relatively early because I've been hustle cleaning for 4 hours, right? And it's interesting. I worked in restaurants for 15 years and then I was in social work. And for me, that was child exploitation and anti-human trafficking. And you can imagine there is anger that comes with working in that field. But I did not have a physical exertion to channel that anger. And so I had to figure out another way. And if you don't figure it out, your body's going to figure it out for you. So the message here is that you're no longer reacting to the world in anger, but you're learning how to channel it and carry it with safety that safe place from childhood. That inner child that's so upset, it's okay. You can tuck that anger away until it is a safe place to explore. Perhaps it is not a safe place to explore your anger in the workplace, in communication with colleagues and peers, with your friends or loved ones, with your partner. Maybe you're having things come up that for you, rightfully so, create a lot of anger. As a bird just flies over, a white bird, and I see two crows across the way just waiting. And so, not to put this onto crows, but to make it very simple, there's a higher vibration that is flying. Oh, hello, crow, that just came and flew over my house, and one is still sitting. And another, okay, yeah, lots of bird action going on now after it's been so quiet. Okay, what do you want me to say? Pull your own strings. That's how I'll phrase it. Pull your own strings. Now we're having these double portals. Okay. Okay. I'm actually going to end this reading here because it's going to be going longer. And come back tomorrow. I'm going to be going through these 3 portals, and you'll get a chance to pick one then. Okay. Thank you for joining me here. If you found this video interesting or you resonated with the message, you can like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to hear from me more often. In the description, you'll find a link to my Substack, which hosts the 444 Collective, which I'm anchoring as a virtual ecosystem where we can gather with people who are exploring these themes and have conversations you can't really have in comment sections on the World Wide Web. Stay tuned.